We're here at the Ben Franklin Bridge. You have to pay a toll to get out of New Jersey, which is really an island. We're going to learn at least 3 to 5 secrets. And the man himself, the founding father, Benjamin Franklin. So let's get ready and dive in, but you're going to have to pay at least $5. If you don't know, my name is Mike. What I want to show you over here, behind here, is one of the ways, besides where I'm on, the pedestrian walkway where you can walk for free into, believe it or not, for free, yeah, into Philadelphia, is to go on the high speed line, what they call the PATCO Speedline. It was created in 1969, and there's a train that will take you for a fee from New Jersey, run by the Delaware River Port Authority, the same company that does the tolls. And supposedly it's to fix the bridge and to do construction and to paint the bridge, which is blue, as you can see, to do all those repairs. But the high speed line is a train, and it goes from New Jersey into Philadelphia, so it can cross state lines, and so you don't need a car, you don't need a vehicle on the Benjamin Franklin Bridge to actually get to Philadelphia on the bridge. So there are 3 ways. Cars and trucks use the walkway. You can cycle, you can use a bike, obviously. Some people use segways now. Theoretically, you can walk. I've seen joggers here. I was born in 1972. So for me, these things have always been here. And another secret, wasn't always named the Ben Franklin Bridge. It was created in 1926 on the 150th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And that's important to note, because Ben Franklin, the man himself, the founding father, who lived in Philadelphia, yeah, he was born in Boston, Massachusetts, but he came here to live, and we'll talk more about him, is that he was part of the writing of the Declaration of Independence. He was an editor for Thomas Jefferson and looked at it, and was one of the 5 on the committee. I am a history major from college. Helped Thomas Jefferson with the editing process. Thomas Jefferson obviously wrote it. But bridges had always been a problem. The Delaware River Port Authority was created in 1919, and work began on this bridge in 1922. It was the first bridge ever to cross the Delaware River. George Washington could tell you about that, because he had his famous crossing of the Delaware. Ferries were used before that forever. Construction began in 1922. The first and actually longest, another secret, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world at the time. For 3 years, from 1926 until 1929, until the Ambassador Bridge, which goes from Detroit, Michigan to Ontario, Canada, was built in 1929. It's called the Delaware River Bridge when it was first created in 1926. It wasn't until 1955 when the Walt Whitman Bridge, which I'm going to show you later, because we'll be able to see it from the top part of the Ben Franklin Bridge here. In 1955, almost 30 years later, that they renamed it the Ben Franklin Bridge, which to me is kind of silly, because it should have been called the Ben Franklin Bridge from the beginning. He is probably one of the most 5 historic Americans of all time. People still impersonate Ben Franklin. You know, the old gray-haired man with the belly, right? He invented bifocals, so you could see far at the top, and you can read closely on the bottom. He actually invented that, where he cut glasses in half on the frames and then just put them back together. He invented bifocals, which we still use today. He invented the lightning rod. I mean, lightning causes fires, obviously, or can cause forest fires, but it can also destroy buildings and put them on fire. He had his famous kite experiment, right? Where he had the kite up there and the wire going to a key, and there's a famous statue on the other side in Philadelphia of that experiment. He invented the lightning rod, where he would attach a cable to a building because churches would catch on fire. I mean, sometimes in France, I heard thousands of people died from a church being struck by lightning and going on fire. And what it would do is it would catch the lightning bolt, go down a cable all the way down to the ground, and that would stop the building from catching on fire. He never patented any of his inventions. He said, well, it's for the people. We should freely give it. So he was a real humanitarian. He also started the first lending libraries in Philadelphia where you could take out a book for, say, 2 weeks and return it. You didn't have to buy the book. So he was a humanitarian. He really wanted to help the people. And he was a true founding father in that he wanted to break away from the British. John Adams himself, when the British were blockading Massachusetts in 1775, and 1774 maybe even, came to Benjamin Franklin in Philadelphia and asked for his help in getting George Washington himself to be the commander-in-chief. First political cartoonist the U.S. ever had. He did the join or die or unite or die effort. And he would have the snake, that flag with the snake of all the different states and say we have to basically join together or die. Real celebrity. He had the Pennsylvania Gazette. Yeah, he owned a newspaper. He was a printer. And it's painted blue. The same painting company, by the way, that painted this bridge, painted the Golden Gate Bridge, which of course is orange. Maybe this would look better looking orange, I don't know. Now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you Center City, Philadelphia, right here. Even though it's a cloudy day, you can see the skyscrapers. And there are about 1.5 million people in Philadelphia. It's really not a growing city anymore. I'll show you the Whitman Bridge and the Delaware River. Enjoy.